Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Woo! Shut up.
No way, I don't believe this crap.
Shut up.
I'm out.
Opening up oysters over Facebook Live is the latest obsession for thousands of people.
They're called Pearl Parties, and they are similar to Tupperware parties.
You pay for an oyster, the host opens it while you watch on social media, and the pearl that's inside is shipped to you.
But as Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson explains, buyer beware of this new trend.
Woo, we have a beautiful black.
While scrolling Facebook, you might start watching one of these videos inviting you to the party.
If anybody else would like to order.
To play, you comment on the video which oyster you want to claim, then pay somewhere between $12 and $50. Then you watch as the party host reveals your pearl.
Mine come vacuum wrapped like this.
This is Hannah. She owns Pearl Party Palooza, her own business where she sells these oysters over Facebook Live.
They're going to be $12.50 each for adoption.
She buys direct from a pearl farmer and says she's honest with people about what they're going to get and makes it fun. She decided against buying into a multi-level marketing company, ones that many party hosts go through. Companies like Vantel Pearls that have numerous Better Business Bureau complaints filed against them. Some saying the quality is awful or the pearls are fake, sometimes breaking within 2 or 3 uses. Others saying the pearl was not worth what they were quoted by the party host.
She has seagrass and random red spot.
I showed one of these Pearl Party Facebook Live videos to Aaron Wimmer. His biggest concern is the level of professionalism.
Whenever you are buying anything online, you just have to be a little bit leery. You don't know what you're getting exactly until you've received it, and you don't know who you're buying it from necessarily. Yes, you can see them here on the screen, but you really don't know her. You don't know what sort of background and level of education she does have on pearls.
Anytime you're buying jewelry, be sure you trust the person.
You could probably do a pearl party in person.
However, Hannah says it's about the experience, suggesting you try a party. Just make sure you attend the right one.
If they're kind of like leery and giving you answers, or they kind of beat around the bush, I probably would recommend going to someone else that's more knowledgeable and just going to be upfront with you.
In Fargo, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
You can find many of the Pearl companies and their ratings on the Better Business Bureau's website. We have a link to that on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Bismarck police arrested a National Guard Judge Advocate General officer along with others at a hotel Friday night on charges of prostitution. Police say the paperwork isn't finished and no charges have been filed. The guard says the man works part-time but is still employed. The guard says it will wait for the legal process before making any personnel decisions.
Did you check to see how much you might owe? Cass County has posted online more than 40,000 properties and the amount of money they may have to pay for the FM flood diversion project. It's a special assessment if there's not enough sales tax revenue generated for flood protection. Amounts are based on property value and the benefit that the property you'll get from the 36-mile-long diversion. Amounts range from hundreds of dollars to more than $1 million. If you want to find out if your property is impacted and for how much, we have a link on valleynewslive.com. Click on this story.
Thousands gathered today to honor 234 officers who were killed in the line of duty.
Among the names, Fargo officer Jason Mosier, who had plenty of supporters in Washington, D.C. Valley News Team's Christy Larson shares more about this national honor.
The Red River Valley community, 90 strong, came out to Washington, D.C. to support our Fargo Police Department and friends and family of Jason Mosier. The ceremony started with the procession of survivors, which was an emotional time as both Rachel Mosier and his parents were wiping away tears. The family, along with Fargo Police Chief David Todd, say this whole weekend has brought back a lot of raw emotion.
Going through it like it was yesterday, it's still pretty fresh in our minds. I don't think it'll ever go away.
We've been moving towards this for a year now, going through the grief and that process, and now we're going to celebrate his memory and always remember him and his family always be a part of our family.
Jason Mosher's name was one of 234 that were added to the marble slabs. President Donald Trump was the keynote speaker at the service, and he said these names are not only etched into the marble, but they're etched into the hearts of Americans forever. In Washington, D.C., Christy Larson, Valley News Live.
We've also had questions from viewers about Rolette County Deputy Colt Allery, who was killed in the line of duty in January. This year's memorial service was for officers who died in 2016. Allery is listed on the national website for fallen officers. We've got a link to that on our website, and also we've posted all of the complete coverage from today's memorial service.
The Beltrami County Sheriff's Office is investigating after finding a body in Lake Bemidji in Minnesota earlier today. Deputies were called out to Paul Bunyan Park around 2 this afternoon on a report of a dead man who they say is about 50 years old. Officials say the body is being sent to the Beltrami County coroner for an autopsy and identification.
Landon Lawagi will spend 22.5 years in jail for killing Corey Terlecki. Terlecki's body was found in her home in South Fargo a year ago. The charges carried a maximum penalty of life in prison without parole. Instead, the 23-year-old could be out when he's 45 years old. The prosecutor says the sentence was not enough, adding that they might have lost the case if it went to trial. Lawagi was arrested for a probation violation near Henderson, Minnesota, the day after Terlecki's body was found.
Around 300,000 computers were crippled over the weekend by a massive ransomware attack that held company information for businesses like FedEx hostage.
Now here in the Valley, several companies are dealing with that cyber attack. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker talked to one company which had to pay a ransom to the hackers to get things back in order. Cornelius, what company was that?
Mike, Andrea, it was Refrigeration Heating Incorporated. Most people know them as RHI Supply. They had to pay $8,500 to the hackers, which for them and their sales wasn't a lot, according to an employee. That same employee says anyone who does business online needs to make sure they have saved sensitive information in another secure place.
Make sure your backup works. It was all cloud-based and off-site and all this, but you know, it still failed for us, and we really still don't know how it failed, but it did.
RHI's backup data had stopped working around 2 weeks ago, which is why they had to pay the $8,500 ransom. And they say they're now doing everything they can to make sure they're one step ahead of hackers. Mike?
All right, thanks, Cornelius. An expert says it's like a game of chess to stay ahead of hackers. What's working today may not work tomorrow, so it's very important that everyone stays sensitive information in several secure places to avoid losing that data.
You're more likely to get a parking ticket in Grand Forks now than you were a few years ago. The Grand Forks Streets Department says in years past, they have been a little lax with enforcing illegal parking during street cleaning and snow removal. A few years ago, the city took in around $150,000 in parking tickets. Now they've hired someone full-time to hand out tickets, and the amount of money they've collected has shot up to around $350,000. All of that money goes in the city's general fund.
I know of at least one person who has a very interesting story to tell about landing a record-breaking catch. Here's part of that story. Derek Larson of Mandan used a bow and arrow to bring in this 45-inch long, 57-pound, 8-ounce buffalo fish from Hart Butte Reservoir. The old record was 54 pounds. North Dakota Game and Fish says the fish is the largest fish ever weighed in the state that's not a paddlefish or a pallid sturgeon.